Welcome back to my show, everyone. Today we are diving into a medical frontier that is completely rewriting the rules of recovery. And our topic is breakthrough STEM technology, a new path to healing chronic pain and disease. And if you or a loved one have been sidelined by stubborn injuries or a degenerative condition or chronic pain, that will not quit, you are in the right place. And we are moving past traditional band aid treatments to explore how cutting edge regenerative therapies are actually helping the human body repair itself from the inside out. And to help us unpack the science today, the success stories, and what this means to the future medicine, I am thrilled to be joined here today with my guest, Mick Emandi, who is the CEO of Regen MDs, they'll correct me in a minute, I'm sure, a regenerative medicine practice comprised of world-class physicians leveraging groundbreaking technologies to provide new hope for individuals suffering from chronic pain and unresponsive joint, heart, autoimmune, and neurological conditions. Mick, welcome to Green Living with Tea. And I know we also have Greg here as well. And I'll let you do the intro for Greg too.
Yeah, glad to be here, T. Thank you so much. I have my medical director, Dr. Greg Carter, on here with us. He's got a very personal and intricate knowledge of the protocols and how effective it's been for so many people that uh, represent your listeners.
Yeah, and I'm correcting myself. I'm sure it's Regen MDs,
Yes,
right?
Regen MDs for regenerative.
Regenerative, yes, of
Yes, yes,
course. My
yes.
mind went to Reagan for some reason, like
It's
when,
fine. It's fine.
whatever. So I just wanted to correct myself on that as well, so people know. So again, it's Regen MDs. So, okay, well, let's first, I always ask everybody, how did you get to where you are today? And did it fall on your lap, or did you know you wanted to get into this?
Well, regenerative medicine has evolved over the last many decades. When I first got into medicine over 35 years ago, I really wanted to help people. It took me many different paths. I've practically done everything in the field of medicine that you can think of. And in the last 9, 10 years, I've been able to get into the alternative medicine space. And that being said, more recently, just in the last 3 years, I fell upon a new technology that was coming in from Japan. It's called molecular hydrogen, and it involves breathing in this amazing molecule. So hydrogen is made up of, it comes from, obviously, a lot of people think of it's coming from water. So H2O, you have two molecules of hydrogen and oxygen there. And this device basically splits the water into a gas and turns what is H2O into H2 and O2 and allows us to breathe in the pure H2. And it has dramatic effects on basically getting rid of all the inflammation in our body from our head to our toes in a very, very short period of time every day. And it basically boosts our immune system, it detoxifies our body, and it supercharges our mitochondria to facilitate very rapid creation of new healthy cells and tissue.
Wow.
So that's the foundation of our uh, regenerative protocols. And now we also have, in the last 7 months, there's a new stem cell technology that just came out that really blows everything else that's currently available out of the water. And we've been getting literally miraculous results from those from this new technology.
If somebody's listening and they're like not even sure, like, what is regenerative medicine?
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Greg can probably talk to that a little bit, um, coming from the
Sure.
medical side.
So, there's two facets of medicine. First of all, thank you. The medicine that we're all used to, the Marcus Wellbeing medicine of the 20th century, is I have a problem. So, what is it? And then, what is my doctor going to do about it? So, what's wrong with me? What's he going to do about it? Regenerative medicine or functional medicine goes on the other side of that border and says, why is what is happening? Okay. So our regular physician, who you should go to and is important, doesn't really care that much about why. What he cares about is what's happening right now and how do I resolve it? So getting to root cause pathology, I'm getting to the underlying condition that is leading to the pain, the discomfort, the decreased quality of life is what functional medicine is all about in a
So
nutshell.
regenerative is basically functional medicine as
Yeah,
well.
regenerative medicine is not taking a symptom and suppressing it to enhance your quality of life. Like I'm in pain, so I need a painkiller, right? That's
Hmm.
improving your quality of life with a temporary and transient tool called a pill, right? Regenerative medicine is actually getting to the root of why the pain is and rebuilding the actual structures that need to be rebuilt. All of this happens very efficiently, by the way, from the time we're born till about the time we're 30, all on its own. It's like magic, you know. You could be a kid and fall off a three-story building and bounce a couple times and go, I don't know what all these old people who are 30 are complaining about. I mean, I'm 60, and if I stub my toe, I want to be airlifted to the ER, okay? Because after the age of 30, Mother Nature's like, I'm done helping you. Figure it out, eat a carrot, okay? And so what regenerative medicine has been seeking to do since 1956 is find out how come when we're younger, nature's doing all this for us. And how come as we get older and every year we get older, it stops happening? And it turns out what we find out is there are these biological signals that are secreted by the body that say we're still relevant. We need to still be able to go hunt the woolly mammoth or find the peach on the tree. So we need to be as optimal as possible. So we need to keep repairing, regenerating this tissue so that we can walk across the frozen tundra and make it to the land of milk and honey. But once nature stops doing that, she's like, well, you're on your own. Okay. And regenerative medicine in the 21st century is designed to identify and reintroduce the signaling structure that is going to tell your body, I don't want you to act like a 6-year-old. I want you to act like a 40-year-old, like a 30-year-old, in whatever arenas that it can regenerate.
I love it. And that brings us to, well, before we jump into stem cell technology, because that brings us into stem technology, I just want to clarify with everybody that we love modern medicine, but, and you can probably back me up on this, but our general physicians are trained to give you a pill. They're not trained to give you preventative medicine or functional medicine. They're not trained to find out what the why do you have that issue? They're trained to say, okay, take this pill. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, it's 100. Listen, if I get hit by a car, please call an ambulance. Don't call a shaman.
Yeah.
Okay? But but again, your physician has been trained in and is focused upon what is wrong with my patient right this second and what do I do about it to save
Hmm.
them.
Yeah,
Okay. What he cannot be focused on and he's not allowed to be focused on is why is this happening?
right,
Okay. And
right.
that's where functional medicine and integrative medicine come in. So for a person who is now stable, their primary care doctor, the medical system has gotten them to what's called homeostasis, or as I like to call it, just above dead, because that is their fiduciary responsibility to us. Can you tell me your name? Do you know what today is? Do you know where you are? Okay, goodbye. All right. Once you're there, I want a higher quality of life. I want to have better energy. I want to improve my existence. That's not their problem. Their problem is keeping you alive. Okay. So the rest of all that, that's up to you, the person. And so you have to seek medical providers or providers who are trained in, acclimated to, and focused upon taking you from the base of what's called within normal limits to optimal limits. And that's where medicine and functional medicine diverge. Their goal is to get you within this tiny bandwidth of within normal limits. And functional medicine wants to take you above within normal limits, not to super physiologic, but to optimal limits. And it turns out optimal is somewhere between the ages of like 25 and 35.
Yeah, and then there's people that are suffering and that no pill is going to help them and they're going to have chronic pain. I have a sister like this, so I get
Yeah.
it. And whether it's and she's got an autoimmune illness and
Yeah.
potentially neurological conditions. So that is where stem cell, your technology really has helped with these conditions. Is that correct?
Yeah. And yes, and there's two parts to this T. First you got to neutralize the enemy that's causing all this
Mm.
problems, right? And then you got to fix it, right? So we have the new technology, which is called molecular hydrogen. It's something that people breathe in just like they would breathe in oxygen. And it's a portable device that sits on their desk where they're working or next to their TV where they're watching, where they're relaxing, or next to their bed where they're sleeping. And they can basically do this on for hours at a time or a half hour every day, or depending on their condition, whether it be cancer, autoimmune condition, neurodegenerative condition, a chronic pain condition. All of these issues can be significantly slowed, stopped, and reversed with just molecular hydrogen. And the stem cell technology accelerates this whole process. So you, instead of taking months to get recognizable improvement, you're able to see improvements in just weeks with the stem cell technology bundled with our molecular hydrogen technology.
The molecular hydrogen technology, did you tell me that was invented in Japan or you found,
Yeah, it
you know?
was it was invented in Japan, and the technology was coming to the United States about 3 years ago. There was a company that
Oh.
was coming to the United States with that technology, and I had first-hand experience with it. I didn't believe it at first because, I'm obviously in healthcare. I know everything about healthcare, right?
Hmm.
Being in healthcare forever. But when it had a profound impact on me, and I saw the over 3,000 clinical studies that are out there supporting how it helps with everything from cancer to brain diseases to like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia, to
Wow.
stroke, to cardiovascular disease, to autoimmune conditions, to chronic pain conditions. I bought the company and integrated it into my medical practice where I have 40 locations covering the state of Florida. I have over 30,000 patients in my own practice. And so, I've had literally miraculous results for my patients who are terminal with cancers and neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's over the last several years. And since that time, I've made it more available to other practitioners. And, we are being able to expand the scope of where we're able to help patients to also people who are just dealing with regular wellness, who want to optimize their health. A lot of patients I'm dealing with are dealing with menopause, PCOS, endometriosis, and we're able to have dramatic improvements for those patients just with molecular hydrogen. And then when we add the stem cell technology, we get vastly superior and faster results.
Wow. And you said it's a device that sits on your bedside?
Yeah, yeah, it's about the size of a bread box, and it basically uses a process called electrolysis and turns distilled water into a gas. And now you have a gas that's made up of hydrogen and oxygen, and it captures just the hydrogen, and you breathe it in. So
Wow.
it's made literally from water. So it's pretty cool.
You buy this on your website, I presume.
You don't buy it on our website, but when patients join our program,
Okay.
that's one of the things that may be incorporated into their treatment protocol.
Got it. So it's a part of the protocol that you come up with.
Ye-
Okay. I
Correct,
wasn't
correct.
quite sure if somebody's listening, like, how do I buy this?
Well, we have a separate company that sells it also, but we're here for Regen MDs, and so we can talk about that later too.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And let's talk about stem cell technology because I
Yeah.
feel like you're starting to hear about it a lot more. I have heard, I actually have studied it a little bit, but talk about how it actually can repair the body.
Well, I'll ask Dr. Greg to talk about that. I would maybe just touch on how it's different from the current stem cell technology,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then I'll have Dr. Greg talk about how it works, and why it works the way it does. Um, you know, up until now, including now, all stem cell technology is coming from one part of the placenta, which is the afterbirth after a baby is born, right? Most people discard it. Now there's a use for it, and that's for this stem cell technology. Now there are 6 areas of the placenta, and because of the vast amount of stem cells that are available in the area called the umbilical cord blood and the Wharton's jelly, Most stem cell therapies are utilizing just one of those two areas of the placenta. This is a new technology that's able to harness the stem cells regenerative and signaling capacity from all six areas of the placenta for the first time in history. So think of you going to school, for example, with you have six classes for the day. You have a book bag with one book in it. You're not going to do really well on all six, right? You're going to do well in one of those six classes. But now, for the first time in history, we have all six books in the book bag to basically address the needs of all six classes and pretty much ace every single class. So that's what's different about this technology from what's currently available throughout the world. And Dr. Greg can talk about how it works a little bit.
Yeah, well, let's hear about how it works. It's fascinating to me.
I think that it might be helpful to think of, because stem cells mean different things to different people. Everybody's got their own paradigm of what it means. Really, regenerative medicine, through utilization of some type of cellular regeneration, has been around since 1956. I mean, everybody's chasing the fountain of youth, okay? And way back in the 50s, we were doing something called platelet-rich plasma. It's still around today. Nobody is screaming from the ramparts, "Oh my God, you got to get PRP. It's amazing," because it works poorly at best. In the 70s, we had this thing called embryonic stem cells, which are utterly amazing. They had almost 100% success rate. Nobody in the free world uses them because they come from aborted fetal tissue, and we just don't do that in Western civilization. So from the 70s to the 90s, science was like, well, we know stem cells exist. We have to find another source. And that's what Mick is talking about. A placenta is considered medical waste in medicine. But as it turns out, it was discovered in the 90s that it is literally a Library of Congress divided into six sections. And in each section of the library are the blueprints that are required by the cells after conception to go from conception to a human in 280 days. So along that 280-day arc, the placenta is squirting in these blueprints. Today form a skeleton, then a little bit later, today form a nervous system, cardiovascular system, etc. Then 280 days later, the lady magically prints a three-dimensionally, full-fledged human being. And all regenerative medicine is doing is taking all of the blueprints of reproduction and repurposing them for regeneration in adults. Now, all of these signals that you find in the six sections of the placenta are released by your body up until 30. And then after 30, Mother Nature's like, we're done helping, figure it out on your own. And it's not like we can go get this out of a peach or a pear or a woolly mammoth liver. Okay. And then so in the 90s, the science of that day, and I'm 60, so the 90s seems like day before yesterday. It was 35 years ago. We had payphones and yellow pages. Okay, that was the technology. And what Mick is saying is we could only access 1/6 of the library. So if your knee needed the arithmetic section and your office had the English literature section, it doesn't matter how many billions of books of English literature I stick in your knee, it's not going to work. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So now we can get the entire
All
Library
six.
of Congress and introduce it into the knee, right? Now, in the old days, 10 years ago, when we were doing stem cells, we used to have to get an MRI of the knee. We used to have some radiologists in Sri Lanka identify it's the anterior cruciate ligament, and here's where the damage is. And then we would have to take an ultrasound machine and stick it on the knee like this. And I'd have to be looking at a TV screen. I have to introduce the needle right into the affected area because if I didn't get it right in the area, it might not work, right? Not terrible. It's not terrible, right? But because we're getting it from the placenta, now we're getting all six sections of the library with the card catalog and everything else that's supposed to be there. Now you can just introduce this cloud of all six sections of the blueprints, and the damaged tissue is giving off an SOS, help me, help me, help me. So only the blueprints that are specific for that specific tissue are going to paratroop out of the cloud, land on that damaged tissue, and insert their blueprint instructions for up to 28 days, depending on the intensity of the injury. Okay. And so for the first time in history, no matter how many different things are going wrong with the body, if you have the appropriate dose, concentration, and frequency of these blueprints, okay, then you have the entire source code of regeneration. The other thing is stem cells, as it turns out, we used to think stem cells were what was doing the work, and they're not. Stem cells are just a delivery system. So imagine a piñata ball made up of somebody else's DNA, okay? And inside the piñata ball are little wrapped up blueprints, okay? That piñata ball is the stem cell. The magic isn't the stem cell. That's just the delivery system. The
Mm.
magic is when the stem cell hits the target tissue and cracks open and those blueprints fall out. That's what your body needs in order to fix this. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So if it's somebody else's
Incredible.
DNA, and in the FDA's amazing, very specific chain of custody from placenta to person, where you could trace minute to minute where this tissue is, okay, there's still a 5% chance of something called graft versus host disease, which is a nice way of saying cancer. Okay. And I've seen it happen. It wasn't our patient, but I've seen it. Okay. The beautiful part about the 21st century technology, which was first isolated in 2017, is the placenta is donating all of the books of the Library of Congress without the stem cell DNA. You're just getting the blueprints. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yep, yep, absolutely.
The other problem
Fascinating.
with the 1990s stem cell technology, which is widely used today, okay, is you had to kill the placenta, you had to break it up into 1,000 pieces, you'd get about 1,000 vials. Nobody's making money with that. So the FDA says, don't worry, human cellular tissue lab, we'll let you expand them 7 times. Expansion is another word for cloning. Now, if you're old enough to remember what copy
Mm.
machines are, okay, you take a piece of paper and copy it 7 times, and you tell me at the end, what are you actually reading? Okay, imagine doing that with biological data. So there's nowhere in the certificates of analysis that tells the patient or the doctor where in the cloning process is this part of the library. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So there's DNA in it, which could cause a problem. You don't need the DNA, you need the instruction manual, okay? And now you're getting an instruction manual that potentially could have been copied 7 times, okay? And it's only good for one section. And you have to then ensure that you're getting the right section. The other thing is that placenta dies. The way that they're doing it now in the 21st century, because technology's advanced, right? Is I'm going to oversimplify here. They keep the placenta alive in a bioreactor. It thinks it's in a uterus. They subject it to the same stimuli it would be in a uterus. It's getting the best nutrition ever. It said, well, I'm working overtime, but boy, I'm getting all this great food. And they milk it, and out comes all of these blueprints into a biological blueprint soup. Okay. Then they screen that against anything that could cause harm to the body. They filter all that out. And then it's called the 312 cell line library. And then they have to prove through chromospectrography, that's a big science word for they have to prove what's in it. It has to be greater than 80% match. So you're assured you're getting exactly what you've asked for in a nutshell.
As you were explaining that, I was going to ask you the question, like, how is this processed? I mean, a woman has a baby and does it happen is this happening across all states or is it only allowed in certain states? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I can answer that. So what's beautiful about this technology is that the stem cell technology comes in a form that does not have any DNA and RNA in it.
Mm, okay.
So it's cell-free, and for that reason, it's not considered a biologic. When Dr. Greg was talking about the piñata ball with the blueprints,
Hmm.
this is just the blueprints. There's no piñata ball. There's no DNA and RNA that's carrying the blueprints.
Right.
So because of that, it comes as a freeze-dried powder, protein powder,
Oh, okay.
that's in a vial that can be reconstituted with sterile water and injected with a simple insulin syringe by anybody in their abdomen for more systemic conditions and also into the joint for pain
Pain.
issues like knee pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, and it can be done from the kitchen table at home.
Wow.
And the hydrogen also, as because of its form factor, is very portable, so it can be done at home. So all of our protocols are something that no matter where they're at in the United States or around the world, they can actually take advantage of
They're all
and
safe and
self-administer
legal.
themselves. Huh?
And they're all safe and legal.
Yes, yes, 100%. And that's what's beautiful about it. The molecular hydrogen is basically providing vast amounts of molecular hydrogen gas in a very short period of time. So it's neutralizing all the toxic free radicals that are in our body that are caused by all the toxins that are already in our body. Okay.
Yep.
Over the last many decades, you and I we have so much toxins that are built up in our tissues. These toxins are causing the formation of something called free radicals. And these free radicals are going after our healthy cells. And when they destroy our healthy cells, that's called oxidative stress, right? And that when oxidative stress gets to a tipping point, then that's called inflammation. And that inflammation is the root cause of all the diseases that we're dealing with. So if you can get to removing the free radicals or neutralizing them or destroying them at the very front door, then you can get rid of the inflammation very quickly and stop the progression, slow and stop the progression of all the conditions that we're suffering from every day.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I talk about environmental toxins and chemicals and how they can affect our overall health and chronic illness. And this
Yeah,
is amazing because it can help reverse basically the damage that has been done,
yeah.
which
It's a
is
very powerful detoxification tool, T. Dr. Greg can talk about how it works to detoxify the body
love to hear that.
at the tissue level. I think that might be really eye-opening for a lot of your listeners and yourself.
Yes.
Dr. Greg?
Yeah, so the body has an internal detoxification fire department. It's called nuclear factor 2. Okay, so this nuclear factor 2, basically think of it as a fire station, and it has three types of fire trucks in it: superoxide dismutase, catalase, and glutathione. And when it's activated, five-alarm fire in the shoulder, it opens up, and these three types of fire trucks come out, and they recruit other types of firemen. And so basically a cascade of 200 enzymatic reactions happen to reduce inflammation, detoxify the body through the nuclear factor 2 pathway. Well, the nuclear factor 2 pathway has a master lock on the garage door called the keep one enzyme, so that these fire trucks just don't go out on their own. And there's a signal in nature that is supposed to unlock the keep one enzyme and let the fire trucks out when it's appropriate. That means if there's a lock on it, nature has created a key. It turns out that the key to unlock the keep one enzyme happens to be molecular hydrogen. Now, is that just a matter of chance because science outsmarted nature and figured out a novel way to use the H2 molecule? Or is that because nature always intended for that H2 molecule to be utilized? It's because nature always intended for that H2 molecule to be utilized. Because there's two kinds of nutrients that you want to think of. Number one is nutrients that feed us, right? Those feed us.
Yep.
Number two is called essential nutrients. Our body can't make them, and they drive catalytic reactions, biocatalytic reactions in the body. That's their purpose, to be like a Bic lighter that lights the fuse in the Mission Impossible opening sequence, dun, 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 until the thing explodes, right? So that's what hydrogen is there for. Without molecular hydrogen, all the biochemical reactions that are dependent on molecular hydrogen cannot happen. We didn't even discover this until 2007 at the University of Osaka, Japan. First paper published in 2010, over 3,000 papers since then. How come everybody hasn't heard, hey, molecular hydrogen is an essential nutrient? It's supposed to be in your body. It's not taking oxygen and shoving it under super physiologic atmospheric pressure. We found out if we do that, we have a novel way to repurpose oxygen called hyperbaric oxygen. Okay. It's not taking ozone out of the atmosphere. Hey, we found a novel way to repurpose ozone. Okay. Those are ways to use the oxygen molecule or the ozone molecule that nature never intended. Nature intended for hydrogen to always be present. And the question is, well, if that's true, and we didn't have electricity and these cool little blue machines that are about the size of a bread box, where did we get it? And it turns out that we got molecular hydrogen through this new thing that never darkens the doorway of my taste buds called a raw organic fruit and vegetable. Because I'm a man and I like meat and I'm a doctor and my mom can't make me eat vegetables anymore. So even if I had the best vegetables, those vegetables have to be digested. I have to get the raw organic fiber. It has to interact with my perfect microbiome that has never been tortured by fluoride in the water or by a Z-Pack. And the fermentation of our microbiome and the organic fiber creates clouds and clouds and clouds of molecular hydrogen to drive all these biochemical reactions that nobody gets. So if I'm going to live in this utopia of the 21st century with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cell phones, air conditioning, and Starbucks, which I am, and the technology is prohibiting me from being able to access molecular hydrogen along a natural pathway, then by definition, I have to use technology to get this essential nutrient that I need in my body to function at optimal levels. Does that make sense?
Yep. So that's where stem cell, again, going back to the technology, correct?
Yeah, so what you're doing with molecular hydrogen is every cell in our body has about 100 to 1,000 engines called mitochondria, okay?
Yep.
And those engines have to have a
Energy.
specific fuel. And that fuel, it turns out, is molecular hydrogen, okay? So what we're doing is it we're introducing into the body the supercharged turbo hyperfuel for each of those engines so they don't have to operate like go-karts, they can operate like Porsche 911s. Now, if you stack that with the regenerative signaling found in this fourth generation of so-called stem cell technology, not only are you introducing all the blueprints necessary for your body to heal, but you supplied your body with the maximum amount of fuel to drive the engines to drive the healing. Does that make sense?
Yep.
They're
Hmm.
kind of like Batman and
Yep.
Robin, or like Reese's Pieces, two great tastes that taste great together.
I love the analogy. Question, can you give like an example or two of somebody that had some type of chronic condition and the amount of success that you've had with them with regenerative medicine?
Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Nick.
mean, we had a patient just last week that she started with one of my MDs that works with me, Dr. Ace Choksi. He's out of um, I think sorry, he's out of Cleveland.
Okay.
And so he had a patient that did hydrogen inhalation for about 8 hours a day. She had severe
Oh,
Alzheimer's,
wow.
and she was doing molecular hydrogen inhalation for about 8 hours a day for about a month. And then she did the Ultra RSF Pro um, uh, in- stem cell technology intranasally. So basically, it's a syringe that atomizes the liquid and it allows it to go directly through the olfactory and trigeminal nerve pathways into the brain tissue. And when it does that, it starts to regenerate. It gets rid of the inflammation, the remaining inflammation, and also instantly accelerates the regeneration of the cells and the nerve synapses within the brain. And she had two intranasal doses of the Ultra RSF 1 week apart. And when she came in for her third session or third dose at the third week, her caregiver commented that she had an 80% improvement in her memory.
Wow.
Yeah, and we have an interview that we'll post soon and stuff, but it's one of those things where hydrogen by itself shows those kind of improvements in a typically about 3 to 4 month window, but to have this kind of response in less than 4 weeks is incredible. When
Fascinating.
you think it's a condition, when you know that this is a condition that has no cure or has
Right.
no means of improvement, really.
Hmm.
So that was really powerful and something that's easily available today. So that's also one of the things. Now you hear about all these up and coming things that are going to be available, a few years from now or whatnot. But, people are suffering today. People
Yeah.
want resolution of their conditions today. So,
Now, I'm a big hockey and football fan here in
mhm.
Buffalo, New York. And going through my brain is I wonder if they work. I could imagine this would benefit athletes so much.
Absolutely. We have a lot of patients with traumatic brain injury,
Mm,
concussion.
Right.
From a, we even, when you're able to do molecular hydrogen very shortly after a stroke, you see significant improvements of their
Mm.
ischemic reperfusion injuries. Dr. Greg can talk a little bit more about athletes and how it helps with their endurance and their recovery and why that works so quickly.
I
Does,
think
and I'm curious if the NFL is has caught up with this yet.
Yes, we're talking to many different teams right now about incorporating it. There's a really powerful way that injuries that people are suffering from that are not healing within a very short period of time are able to be shifted from pain, swelling, and inflammation to regeneration in just a matter of 72 hours,
Wow.
meaning that their pain literally disappears within a very short period of time. Dr. Greg can talk about that also.
Yeah, I think healing or recovery, whether it's your brain or your elbow, all requires mitochondrial involvement.
Hmm.
Okay, so the more that you can supply those mitochondria with the optimal fuel to perform at their highest level, then the faster that you as an athlete can regain functionality to perform at your highest level. Okay. And if by
Yep.
extension we know that each of these little engines inside each of our cells require this molecular hydrogen, and I'm an athlete, and for lack of a better term, I want to beat the other guy. I want to crush
Yep.
him. I want to destroy that guy. Okay. So I'm going to do things that are going to give me the optimal performance potential. Molecular hydrogen is probably the single most important thing that you can do for yourself in terms of supercharging your mitochondria, by extension, supercharging your cells, and by extension, supercharging the systems that are driving your body. Um, I mean, I'm 60 and I'm not a monk. Okay. I live a normal guy life. Um, Mountain Dew has darkened the doorway of my taste buds because it's awesome. I'm looking for the Mountain Dew stream in nature so I can say that it's natural. I haven't found it yet. Okay. What I'm saying is I don't live this monastic lifestyle. I work out almost every day, both weights and cardio. I'm in a silly man sport called Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Everyone in there is in their 20s. They're all trying to murder the old guy. I could take a licking and keep on ticking at my age. Not just because of molecular hydrogen, but I'd have to say molecular hydrogen is absolutely the foundation of my cardiovascular health and my health in general, and my ability to recover orders of magnitude faster than anybody around me.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you been dealing with the Buffalo Bills? Maybe I need to get you in with them.
Get us
No,
in.
we'd love an introduction.
Yeah, before any other team. No, I'm just kidding. Well,
If they want a competitive advantage, we got it for them.
yeah, well, I know they're all looking for any kind of edge on another team. So this
Yeah,
would
no.
make
This
sense.
the molecular hydrogen alone is able to improve one's cardiovascular endurance by about 20 to 30% in just a matter of a couple of weeks because
Wow.
it's supercharging the mitochondria on very
Right.
massive level.
He,
And
he's let me
the
finish.
stem cells wouldn't be involved in that particular thing. Stem cells would be more involved in injuries and recovery from injuries, accelerating
Hmm.
that pace and stuff. But the molecular hydrogen is so easy to do and just provides such amazing results. It's incredible.
Wow.
I would
Interesting.
add to that that if cardiovascular exercise is a component of your athletic regimen, I have a home gym because Mick is working me to death, so it's hard for me to stay on there. Uh, so I have a treadmill. Now I was in the Marines and I hate cardio. I hate it. I despise it. And I'm looking for any reason to get off that thing. I do it because I have to. And I put the molecular hydrogen machine next to my treadmill. And when I'm breathing molecular hydrogen and on my treadmill, I am never tired and I get off the treadmill because I'm bored, not because I've run out of energy. It is as if I have plugged my body into a wellspring of endless supply of fuel. It's astounding the difference. Like any
Fascinating.
athlete that knows where their failure point is in a cardiovascular activity, if you do molecular hydrogen on something like a treadmill or a recumbent bike or a one of those elliptical things, you'll be utterly astounded.
Well, well, maybe I'll work on this for you. I want my team to succeed and we want to win the Super Bowl. So
Oh yeah,
you never
definitely.
know.
Yep.
Competitive
Yes,
edge
yes.
is key. But okay, did we miss anything? This is very informative, and it's just, I mean, you've got a website we can direct people to as well, which is Life Force, no, regenmds.com, right?
Yes. REGENMDS.com. Yeah.
.com. And then what's Life Force Lab? Because we also have that as a website in the show
Lifeforce
notes.
Lab is the platform to educate practitioners about the stem cell technology.
Okay, got it.
And
Okay.
then there's HydroHeal, HYDROHEAL.com that promotes the molecular hydrogen technology to other practitioners and direct to consumer also.
Hydro Heal, what's that website? And I'll include that.
HydroHeal.com.
.com. Okay. Just want to
Yeah.
make sure. Okay. We'll include that too. So, and of course, uh, they can reach out to contact the websites and somebody will help them,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, if they're dealing with any kind of health challenges, then Regen MDs is the direction to go. And then we can give them insights into how we might be able to slow, stop, and reverse their current conditions
And do you work with people all around the country?
around the world. Yeah.
World, even better.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So remote is fine.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. The beautiful
Okay.
thing about this technology is that can be literally shipped to them, and then we utilize telehealth to manage their progress.
Great. And you have a core offer, which is called Regenerative Reset, and it's a treatment program using breakthrough stem cell technology and designed to help people overcome chronic pain and serious health conditions. So that is something I encourage people to go to the website and check that out and check out the program. Anything else you want to add before we sign off here? And this has been
Yeah,
so
I think that
wonderful.
one of the things that this is not covered by insurance, but it is very affordable.
Yes,
When you consider what the suffering that you're going through is, you know, giving you for your happiness and for your life, we look at everything now. We're really focused on longevity also. So we're looking more at your health span rather than just your lifespan. Are
yes.
you going to be in a wheelchair for the for 20 extra years, or would you like to be running around traveling the world and enjoying your life for the next 20 extra years? So most people rather do the latter, right? So we want to be able to help people recover from their conditions, their organ failure, things of that nature, and live longer at the same time.
And stop the suffering because they
Correct.
don't need to live like that and have a better quality of life for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So these new treatment protocols allow them to do just that from the comfort of their home.
Awesome. Well, Mick and Greg, thank you so much for coming on today. Really appreciate this. Is fascinating. I might grab you down the road again because
Absolutely.
it's just something that I think more people need to hear about, and we will push this out there as best we possibly can. And I will keep you posted on the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Would love to work with you on that too.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
T.